to Just Add Water, the podcast where we look at the work behind water services, which are vital in our lives. We are Pier Antonio Lavena and Anna Badhofer from the International Association of Water Companies in the Danube region. And today we're going to Satu Mare.
Right. We have a guest today with us. It is Oana Rusu. She is a project implementing unit officer at her water utility in Satu Mare, Romania. We'll let her introduce herself in a bit, but because we already know a thing or two about Oana, we also know that she's a great runner. So today we've come up with a metaphor, which is the metaphor of a marathon. The Romanian water sector has come a long way over almost 40 years. It's been a few decades, and Oana knows much about it. So please, Oana, we're happy to have you and learn from you about water sector operations in Romania.
Yeah, can you welcome, first of all, and can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the water sector?
Hello, Anna and Pierre, and thank you for the invitation. It's a very big challenge, a new challenge for me to participate to this podcast, and I'm very glad again, and thank you. Yes, I'm working in this field now for more than 20 years, and especially in the last 15 years, I'm working with European funds, but not only European funds, any other non-reimbursable funds. And I can say it's a challenge every day working in this sector, especially with the big projects, big infrastructure project. It's a big challenge for me and my colleagues. Regarding the water sector in Romania, we have to say that has developed a lot in the last 20 years, especially after the revolution, which took part in 1989, because until that moment, water was not a public good, but it was considered owned by everybody, and everybody had the right to use it in any kind of way. So it was a little bit, the regulation were introduced in after the revolution, and so we started to have water in a more safe way for public use. I just have to say something interesting about water history. In 16th century, the early infrastructure in water was made by wood, and it was wooden. It was tree were cut in the middle, and they were burned with hot iron inside, and that was the first water pipe in Romania. I know in Brașov city it was this find out, and after they made it in clay and then concrete and other materials.
Yeah, so there is quite a big history of water infrastructures in Romania. So not a history that just starts in 1989, but it goes back 5 centuries. So it's good to remind a bit the span of time that we're looking at.
Maybe more specifically, though, for the last 1 or 2 decades. Also, you said you're working in the water sector for 20 years now. Maybe you can shed some insight on what that actually means. So on the one side, the last 20 years, what has changed? What is the path that we've already covered? If we're talking about a marathon distance here, have we come halfway? Are we close to some kind of finishing line? And where does your work chip in?
I don't think that in the water sector we can talk about a start line or a finish line, but it's an ongoing marathon. And maybe the finish line will be when we will not have water anymore. this will be maybe the finish line in the water sector, but I hope it's not the case. But it's a challenge. It's a marathon. We have to be prepared every time for every kind of issues we have to deal in our ongoing day-to-day program. In Romania, it was a big change, which was brought by the European funds because we had to make a lot of big changes in our water utilities. We became from small water utilities, we became a regional operator. That means we are operating at the county level. So also our services and our development of our infrastructure was made considering the regionalization. So we don't need to put small water treatment plants or wastewater treatment plants in each village, which was before. But we have to think at another and bigger level when we make this regionalization. That's why we start to implement projects at a larger scale. And we had to fulfill the European directives to the water treatment, potable water and wastewater treatment plant. And it was a huge step for Romania to have the opportunity to utilize a lot of funds. APASEV, especially with its great team, made a great work, I think, until this moment to attract a really serious amount of money and to develop its infrastructure and to make it more sustainable and friendly to the environment.
See, and if I can ask, because you mentioned a bit about this centralization process, I was wondering if it comes with its own difficulties or if it's just a win-win kind of context where it's just a great solution for the Romanian context. And I wonder also how it has impacted the access to water for general citizens.
The impact to the citizens was I think only good aspects I can tell about it. Even the major problem was with the tariff increase. It was the major issue we had, I think, about the tariff because they were forced, let's say, to pay the same tariff in the entire county. Even the water source was different, but the same quality. And this was the major issue. And of course, there were another difficulties regarding other small villages or communities that wanted to join APASERV, but maybe they didn't have the right infrastructure that we can handle. So they have to improve first and to make and to give us a good infrastructure network to operate. The process was quite long, I have to say. It started in the 2004 when APASERV became this company, because before we operated also urban transport and local heating. We had also other services in to deal
Yes,
with.
absolutely.
So basically, APASERV, when you're mentioning it, you're talking about the water utility you personally work for in Satu Mare City.
In Satu Mare City, but it operates at the county level, at region level.
Ah, right.
We have more than 50 communities in charge.
Basically, after EU accession in 2007, APASERV also had to adapt from becoming a metropolitan urban utility to also actually providing rural areas with water services. Is that right?
Exactly. And we also had pre-accession funds that supported us with technical assistance, which guided us how to make our documents um, for this transition from a small operator to a regional operator. So we had the support from consultants, also through the pre-accession funds to deal with this issue because everything was new for us. The project became larger, and we didn't have maybe the preparation to deal with, but we had the support.
Maybe coming back to then, so once it was only providing the urban area of Satu Mare and its population, but then including a whole region into your services and operations. What did that mean when it came to the public perception? Was it easy to convey, or what were the struggles there, maybe?
It was not very easy just because of, for example, in the villages, people had their own wells in the garden, and they said, "Oh, I don't want Apasev's water. I have my own well and I don't have to pay for it, and it's free." Well, it's not exactly the great case, but when the potable water it's at your foot, near your house, in front of your house, maybe you have a question in your mind as a citizen, and you think that that potable water, and it's a safe water. Maybe I have to pay a tariff, but I should have it all the time because the wells in their garden depends on the weather because they are not very depth wells like Apasev has at 100, 200 meters depth. So their own wells depends on the weather conditions. When it's no raining, they had some problems. So I think they saw this advantage of having a good and quality water to their door, even if they have to pay for it. We still struggle maybe in some small areas, but and it's the same tariff, a unitary tariff, but also the water, the quality water, it's at high standards, I can say, in Satu Mare.
I was wondering if the tariff, the water bill, is established by the national level or more locally by the utility.
Yes, we cannot have any kind of tariffs you want, of course. We have to have an approval from a national authority, but it's made the tariff. We have a tariff strategy, which is developed within the infrastructure project funded by European Union. So we have a tariff strategy that has to cover the cost, the operating costs of extracting, transporting, and treating the water. So we cannot have any kind of tariffs we want. Everything is calculated, it's documented within analysis, a financial analysis, which is approved by Romanian government, European Commission, and after it has the approval of the Romanian authority in this field. But each county, each water company in Romania has different tariffs because, of course, the water sources are different. The need for treatment is different in each country, in each county, sorry, at each water company. So everything depends on how much you have to treat and how.
Is that a message that is that you can communicate to consumers? Do consumers really understand why tariffs might need to increase, why tariffs are as high as they are, or actually, if we look at it, why they are as cheap as they are given what is provided?
We are trying to be as transparent as we can with our customers and with our public. We also have a Facebook and social media pages that through which we inform our customers why we have to increase maybe our tariffs, what is covered within this tariff. So we try to be quite transparent and to explain everything to our customers, just to don't have a surprise on the next invoice.
Because obviously, I mean, there's this whole sustainability aspect to it. You want to finance your infrastructure, you want to finance your operations on a sustainable level, and keep operations up for long term. Now that kind of reminds me, and you hinted at it. Maybe the finish line actually in the water sector is when we run out of water and there is no more water. So I think it was 2022 when there was also a severe drought hitting Romania, and there's probably a few summers now where also water shortage was a topic. Did Satu Mare and the region feel the droughts? How did that go?
Yes, we have a region in the county, in Negrești region, and I think also last summer or 2 summers before, we had this problem with the potable water sources. There we have spring sources of water, and they were almost empty, unfortunately, and we had to take water from Satu Mare or from other region with the big trucks to their region for the people to have potable water. So unfortunately, we have to be aware that water is not an infinite source, even if we think it is, and we have to protect it.
Absolutely, yes. I think this is one of the messages that we want to pass to the public with this podcast and with the campaign that is associated with it. And what do you think, like maybe are some important messages around this topic that you would want to communicate with the users?
I think it's not about telling people what they are supposed to do, but trying to explain and showing the issues we have as water company, not only in providing water, but only to protect the environment and the water sources. We have to provide the knowledge to the people so that they can make their own informed decisions. For example, people don't know that if they throw in the toilet wet tissues, it will be a collapse maybe in a pumping station. I don't know if you can see it, but I have here a pumping station full with wet wipes. And it was not working. And then the citizen said, "Oh, everything of the sewage is coming in my house. Why? What is APASER doing?" Well, this is APASER doing quite often, unfortunately, but we are making campaigns on Facebook. Don't throw this in your sewage. So we have to show people what are our issues, what we have to do, or what we can do to avoid it. And this is a way that also APASEF can operate in good condition its infrastructure.
And maybe one last question, Oana. As young professionals, what advice do you have for us in the water sector?
To be involved. Okay. Fully. Otherwise, you cannot do this. You cannot do this. I also had my moments, and maybe I still have, and I say, "Oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of all the projects." But when I go to the county, when I run, when I go with my bike, and I see a passive project for, I don't know, 30 kilometers of water or water network, I feel good. And I feel good about my company. And I feel good that, okay, I know that this people from here will have a good water. So be involved, and everything I think will be will be fine. Be involved and study a lot and try to do your job as well as you can.
Absolutely. I think you mentioned running one more time, and I think we heard something that you would like to organize a run along the loop or a route, like cycle along the loop. Can you tell us a bit more about that? And
Yeah, what's that all about?
yeah,
It's just a baby idea for the moment. Yes, I enjoy making sport, running, hiking, biking. I just want to make a small comment regarding environment. I was in the Italian Alps in July, and I was on a peak, my highest peak until this moment, in Gran Paradiso, which was 2,000, above 2,000 meters. And I was on a glacier. And I was shocked that I was seeing the traces of the melted glacier in the last 20 years. And it's awful because it was tens of meters of melted glacier, and it was horrible for me because, only if you see with your eyes that everything we do here in our cities, it has such a huge impact in nature, and you cannot see it because, okay, it's there in the mountains. Who gives a tick? And we don't see it. Maybe not everybody sees it with its own eyes, but it's shocking that it really happens. What we thought it was only in theory, this with climate change, with the environment protection, it's not only there. It's happening, and unfortunately, but I was happy that I could melt a little bit of that glacier in my water bottle to drink it. So yes, my idea with running, I think the community within IAVD is quite big, and we have a lot of great people. I think somebody can go with the bike, somebody can go with the kayak, somebody can swim in the Danube, somebody can run along the Danube. And I thought that maybe from the spring of the Danube until the Black Sea,
River Delta, yeah.
with the river, yes, with the delta, I think we can aware people of the Danube quality along the entire course of the river, and making this challenge to run, kayak, swim, depends on what part we can take, but the entire river to take some water samples to analyze this, then to switch to swimming, take a sample to switch on biking for, I don't know, 100 kilometers, take a water sample, switch to running for a marathon, take a water sample, and maybe it will be 3 months, maybe. It will be analyzed for 3 months. But I would like to, I don't know, maybe you can help me. Maybe Avede would enjoy this idea to make this happen.
I think it would be super
Yes,
interesting. Yeah,
100%. And both your example of the glacier and also this example just shows us how it's not a sprint. It takes time. Changes happen slowly, but once they gain momentum, it can be faster than we think it is. And looking at a glacier that has melted more than 10 meters, we can definitely see how that was actually happening fast over past few decades. And I think we definitely need to keep in mind that also positive impact and positive change, it can seem slow at the moment in our daily jobs, but hopefully we'll also see, looking back in the future, a bigger impact and change
I
absolutely.
think
in
every
a
small
positive
change,
direction.
yeah, I think every small change of me, from my life, from your life, from everybody's life, every small change can have and could and should have an impact, a positive impact on the environment, because the negatives, we are full of it, unfortunately.
Yes. Absolutely. And yeah, the examples that you brought up definitely make us reflect. It's good to question a bit how we're making use of resources. Well, I would close it here.
Absolutely.
If we all agree.
Oana, thank you so much for sharing your story and your insights.
Thank you again for your time, Oana. To our listeners, whether you're a water user, a runner, or a future water professional, just remember that every drop counts and every step matters. This has been Just Add Water. Until next time, keep going and don't forget to stay hydrated. This episode is part of the Just Add Water campaign. If you want to find out more, you can check out our website. Thank you again.
Thank you.